Jody, first win. It ends a disappointing run of results. Tell us how it feels.
No, I'm obviously pleased for the lads. Really pleased for the fans who've again come out in their numbers for a trip that's not the shortest of trips. Like I said, I would have liked to give the fans a little bit more from a performance aspect, but where we are at the moment, there's certain things that I asked for against Sutton that maybe we didn't do as far as defending our box and taking responsibility in defensive areas. And I showed them that this morning. Spoke about it a lot going into the game. So from the aspect of defending our box and putting our head on it and taking responsibility from a defensive area, I was pleased. There's multiple things that we need to work on. We need to be a lot better, again in possession, silly turnovers. We've got to squeeze the game a little bit more. I thought the front players were working so hard, and I feel the only thing that I would aim at the defenders today is off the ball. From an aspect of off the ball, is that I felt we could have squeezed the game a little bit better. Where we had our front players working so hard, I felt we could have made the game a little bit more compact. But pleasing to get the win, and like I said, the players dug in, and like I said, there's an element of that we created again, a bit similar to Sutton, but fortunately for us, we dealt with it a little bit better in the box.
You touched upon a few points there, but what was the overarching? What were you most pleased with today from your side?
Like I said, the spirit, really. Everyone digging in deep. All the info that even the subs were sort of shouting on from the bench, trying to help their teammates. I think the group looked together, and I know it's easy to. You can kind of see that at the end of a win where you've had to dig deep and get the 3 points. A tough place to come, like we were talking about yesterday, Dave. I think that's the pleasing thing, is that I felt they looked like a group. And yes, like I said, there's so many things to work on and things that we need to improve. But listen, we haven't had the rub of the green and any luck I don't think, in the first 3 games. So bit of fortune for the second, maybe even the first. I'm not sure. You better ask Wakey whether he meant it. But when you've been on the wrong side of it, of maybe 4 or 5 sort of decisions in those 3 games, it's sometimes nice to see it go your way.
And how pleasing is it as well, because it certainly wasn't a perfect start, going a goal down after 3 minutes, but you must be pleased with the character your side have shown, just to obviously get back into the game and then go on and win it.
Yeah, well, that was it, Dave, because to be fair, at the beginning of the game we started really well. As I said, on the ball, and obviously before we actually got our equaliser, before they scored and before we got our equaliser, we was by far, I thought, the better team, and we was passing the ball and moving it about the pitch. The fact that he was free in acres of space to get his shot off and score was clearly disappointing, but I was pleased that it didn't interrupt our sort of game plan, if you like. And of course there's been a couple of games where we've conceded 1 and then a second's followed quite quickly. It was pleasing that we carried on with how we had started the game from a possession aspect, and as I said, that was pleasing, that we didn't fold, or the heads didn't go down. They remained, they kept it, they stuck their chest out and went to try and continue the job that we set out to do at the beginning. Obviously it's a setback, conceding the goal, and it's a poor goal again to concede, but I was pleased with the mentality after it.
It certainly wasn't all plain sailing. Losing Fraser as well just after the break, that was a huge blow. Is there any update on him at all?
No, I mean, it's too early to tell, Dave, really what's up with him. There was a couple of problems, his hip and his medial ligament at the moment, so obviously that's a worry. But we're going to have to see how that settles down after the next couple of days. For Fraser to come off the pitch, I think we all know Fraser well enough that he's not coming off the pitch unless there's something quite clearly wrong with him. And I almost was going to change him at half-time, because I know the character he is, but he did want to give it a try. But listen, it wasn't to be, and the players knew that if he was to come off, what we was going to go to and what the sub was before it happened. So I was pleased with how quickly they kind of moved into a different back 4, and then even with someone of the height of Smith up top, I felt that even though we kind of gone a body light in the back, I felt we dealt with the flick-ons and the second balls quite well.
A tricky surface as well, because it doesn't look too flat out there, and to try and keep playing football like you guys did today must have been pleasing as well.
Yeah, well, I kind of said that before the game. I said I didn't want the pitch to be an excuse. Like I said, I've certainly had my moan about refereeing decisions in the first 3 games, but I didn't want the pitch to be a factor in why we haven't performed. And to be fair, like I said I don't care if there's bobbles and there's mistakes, as long as you keep trying to do the right things. And towards the end of the game, I know that there was nerves on the pitch. That's what you get sometimes when you've got a young group and when you've got a team that hasn't won in 3. So there's an element of that where you want to go back to front a little bit more. And to be fair, we was competing for second balls, and the ugly side of the game probably better than we was passing it anyway. So I didn't mind being a little bit more direct in the last 10 minutes. But yeah, I felt in the first half especially we still tried to pass the ball, and it was pleasing to see.
And just finally, a fantastic victory against a side that are right in the thick of it at the top of the table. How important is it now to use this as a springboard now to push on in the season? Because if you don't go and get another result in the next game, it sort of falls flat a little bit. So how important is it to build on this one?
Yeah, well, we said it before the game. It's a difficult place to come, but if you can manage to get a result at somewhere like Salford, who's got a really good home record this year, difficult place to play, the pitch. If you can get a result, it's not the worst place to start from, as far as propelling you forward, or as foundations to build on and a platform to hopefully move you on to a better level of performance, which we'll need to do, because that's certainly not good enough today as far as from an all-round perspective. But as far as if you can win like that away from home with in this league, because we ain't going to perform great every week. You need those moments, and you need team spirit and a group that wants to fight for each other, and I felt they showed that today.
Jody, congratulations today.
Cheers, Dave.